Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. And for this one, well, let's get the audio sorted out first of all. There we go. For this one, it is Ramparts. Now, there were two games with very similar titles. Rampart, which was an arcade conversion, is a conversion of a rather unusual arcade game actually. If you want to see what that one is all about, then I would recommend checking out the Game Steve channel. He's done a review of that game. This isn't it. This is Ramparts, plural. And, well, technically, this is not an arcade conversion. This is an original game. But let's cut to the chase. Not that long ago, actually, who am I trying to kid? It was fucking ages ago. I did a review of an Amiga game called Wrath of the Demon, which was the most shameless cash-in on the of the popularity of another gaming title that I have ever seen. It was cashing in on the popularity of Shadow of the Beast. And there was a Commodore 64 version of that game, but yeah, less said about that the better. The Amiga version was bad enough, but the Commodore 64 one. However, a couple of years before that was released, there was this, Ramparts. This is not just similar to a particularly popular game at the time. I'm trying to remember when this game came out. I think this came out, it was around 86, maybe 87. I can't even remember who it was who did the game. I think it was distributed in the UK by US Gold, but I can't remember who actually coded it. Obviously I'll get all that info for the description prior to uploading this. But yeah, although it was supposed to be an original game, there is no doubt whatsoever in my mind that this is an unbelievably blatant attempt to cash in on the popularity of a rather, what was really a sort of novelty game. So let's get a game underway. You are Sir... I can't bother to put the name in. And here we go. So you are a knight. And let's see, you're climbing up the walls of a castle, which you are then smashing. Now, where have I seen that gameplay before? And there are various other creatures along the ground here which you have to avoid. I don't think you can actually kill any of those people. So I'll climb up the wall here. Picked up something in the smashed wall of this castle that will help me with my health. Get my damage meter back down. So continue smashing here, but I mean, are they taking the piss or what? And of course, okay, the gameplay is a blatant, you know, cash-in of the popularity of Rampage. They didn't exactly disguise it very well with the title is Ramparts. It's the title contains, well, it's almost exactly the same as the title of the game that this is a fucking blatant copy of. But it is, you know, it's Rampage. that's all you can say about it. That's all this game is. I'll say, okay, Rampage was quite popular, but it really was a sort of novelty game. I mean, once you sort of, you know, once the actual novelty of the thing wore off, and it didn't take very long for that to happen, the game was quite dull. You sort of think, okay, if you're going to, you know, blatantly copy a fucking game that's already out, why would you copy Rampage? But that is precisely what they've done. That's all this is. I mean, it's difficult for me to actually, you know, review the game seriously because, well, I can't take it seriously. I cannot believe that they had the fucking nerve to release this. I remember at the time when I first saw it advertised, and the advert had what I assumed was going to be the front cover of the game, and I just remembered thinking, they can't seriously be releasing this. It is just Rampage. But, yep, they did. And I'm about to die. Which is a real fucking shame. So, there we go. Game over. What a fucking shame. I mean, are they serious here? Well, clearly they are, because it was released, it was published. But on a Commodore 64, I have never seen such a blatant fucking rip-off of an existing game. And then you get to the point when you think, well, why would they do it? Because the only people who are going to buy this are people who are, you know, big fans of Rampage. But if you were a big fan of Rampage back in the day, you already had the game. Because, you know, there was conversions of Rampage released already. So why the fuck would you want to then go out and buy a shameless fucking rip-off of it when you almost certainly had the original already? What a fucking piss take. So, well, let's get the review underway then. Graphically, it's okay, I guess. The music is again okay, but there's nothing to really, you know, inspire you. It's not exactly, you know, well, it's not exactly memorable, but then there is nothing about this game that is memorable, or at least not for any of the right reasons. I'm gonna end up losing my one life on level 1 here, which is a real fucking shame. And then the gameplay, well, I'll say the gameplay, it's Rampage. You know, you are not going to be surprised by that. I can't believe that they had the nerve. Anyway, yeah, I was saying about the advertising for it. What was going to be the game's front cover. I mean, they made no secret of the fact that this was, you know, a Rampage fucking rip-off. Oh dear, looks like I'm gonna die again. What a fucking shame. Oh, there we go, dead. Oh dear. I mean, I cannot believe that this game was, you know, got the green light. You know, no one thought, you know what, I think we might be taking a piss releasing this. No, instead they thought, yeah, let's go ahead and release this. It's going to be superb. People are going to be desperate to buy this. As far as I'm aware, sales of this game were pretty disastrous, which is, you know, no surprise because, well, I've already said, the only people who are going to buy this are fans of Rampage, and they already had it because they bought Rampage. Of course, as if, you know, the advertising campaign wasn't enough to convince you that this was a blatant cash-in. I mean, look at the title. So you got RAMPA. So the title is more or less identical. So there is absolutely no attempt to hide, you know, the fact that this is just a pure fucking cash-in and nothing else. I mean, even Russ of the Demon at least fucking, you know, made the name sort of different. Well, yeah, sort of. So, I mean, okay, graphically it's, yeah, say reasonable, and the audio is reasonable, but there's nothing that really outstanding about either of them. So, how do I rate it? I don't. I think they had a fucking nerve releasing this. It's basically them saying, yeah, you know what, people who are fans of Rampage, they're fucking stupid. They'll fall for this shit. All we got to do is, you know, just give it a very, very slightly different title, and they'll come flocking round to buying it. So, I mean, it's fucking out of order. So even though it plays just the same as Rampage, I will score this game 0 because it is just, it's fucking outrageous. And I assume that everyone involved in this game was in on it, and you know they were all thinking, yeah, we'll just you know, do a shameless copy. We don't care. You know, we don't think we're conning anyone. We'll just fucking do it anyway. I keep meaning to start again with the sound effects to show you how they are, because as so often is the case, you can have you know, either or, you can't have both, you know. The other thing is that, well, rather like the Rampage game, the gameplay is pretty boring because you're just doing the same thing all the time. All I'm doing is climbing up the side of the castles here and smashing it again. And trying to avoid all of the monsters and what have you is not impossible. I don't know why the fuck I just suddenly died there, but I did. You know, I don't care that I did. But yeah, it just means that there is nothing here of any interest at all. So I can't get out this fucking title page. I want the option to change. There we go. Right, so let's put the sound effects on. This is definitely the last go. So you can hear the sound effects. And as you can hear, they're really no great shakes at all. I think I've rather made the point as far as this game goes. I really don't fancy playing this too much more. So there's Ramparts for you then. 0 out of 10. An outrageous cash-in that is up there with Wrath of the Demon for, you know, just being unbelievably out of order. Now, my next video will be the 400th retro review, and I've been trying to figure out what game to do. For a little while I had an idea of what game it would be, namely Speedball 2 for Commodore 64. That changed when something happened. That something being I played it. I played it 3 times. The 3rd time I played it, I even used trainers. And after that, I deleted it. So yeah, Speedball 2 went the way of the fucking dodo. So I'm now having to find an alternative final game. Or not final game, an alternative 400th review title. I've sort of got one in mind. If I do this one that I'm thinking, then, well, it will be the 400th, but it won't be the major title people were expecting. Well, it will be a major title in a way, but not in the way that I like them to be. Am I actually still playing this game? And not just playing it, but actually trying to get through this level. Well, okay, that's me nigh on finished now. I keep getting all these health, extra health. There we go. Oh, there you go. So that is game over. So, right, well, there you go. That is Ramparts. Incidentally, on that title there at the top, which says Ramparts, and then it flips over to say something else, I haven't got the remotest fucking clue what it's supposed to say. If anyone can tell us, I'd be semi-interested. So anyway, that is Ramparts then for Commodore 64. 0 out of 10. Blatant cash-in. And I fucking hate it for that reason. So that brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one, which will be the 400th retro review.